Higher trust equals higher profits. Let's talk about it.
Welcome to Newsletter Guru TV, your show with a boatload of smart marketing and business building advice, and a little fun along the way.
This episode of Newsletter Guru TV is brought to you by Double My Retention. Use Jim's exclusive CPR client retention strategy to significantly boost your client retention and your profits.
Hey everybody, it's Jim Palmer, the Newsletter Guru. This week on Newsletter Guru TV, we're going to talk about the importance of trust in the customer relationship cycle, how that translates into sales and therefore higher profits. I just got done reading a book, No BS Trust-Based Marketing by Dan Kennedy and Matt Zagula. It's a really great book, as are all of Dan's books basically. And I've read them all. You've seen them all on my bookshelf behind my desk where I usually shoot these videos. But today I was sitting in this is my comfy reading chair in my cozy corner. And so I just finished reading this book, and it just inspired me to want to come on and talk about trust, because so many times I think we as entrepreneurs and small business owners, we focus on strategy and techniques and different marketing methods and things like that. And you know, what I was reminded of by Dan and Matt in their book is that trust is one of the biggest things that you can do in your business. Develop higher levels of trust with your customers, clients, patients, and prospects, because when people trust you, they will buy more. They'll buy more from you, I think, more easily, and price also becomes much less of an objection. So what builds trust? Let's talk about that. You know, trust comes from, I think, authority. It comes from affinity. It comes from celebrity, and it comes from familiarity. That's the other one I read about in Dan's book. So let's talk about these. You know, I'm always talking about positioning yourself as a celebrity expert. When you are a celebrity expert, you become known for being the go-to person, go-to guy or go-to gal in a certain niche. That is something that will help build trust, because people that are perceived to be the best, or in this case a celebrity expert, there is a certain level of trust factor that goes with that. Another one I just mentioned was familiarity. You know, when people become familiar with you through your marketing, and a couple summers ago I did a whole thing on drip marketing, so you can check that out in the episode guide. But you know, I really think that drip marketing, in other words, being in regular and frequent contact with your customers, clients, patients, and prospects, is a phenomenal way to build familiarity and therefore trust, which will translate into sales and profits. Okay, so how do people become familiar with you? Well, let me tell you what I do in my business. Every Tuesday morning, people that follow me on my email list, every Tuesday morning, I send out my weekly newsletter. I've been doing it for better part of 4 years, I think, and it has never, ever missed. Even when I'm going to be away or traveling, I will pre-write it and give everything to my team so they can send it out. On rare occasion, I forgot to write the note that goes at the top, and my assistant Kate has stepped in. But like clockwork, that newsletter goes out every single Tuesday morning. Within that newsletter, there's a little bit about me at the top, kind of a note. Maybe it's just something personal, what I did. The one that just went out a week ago, which is actually today as I'm recording this, I mentioned that Stephanie, Toby, and I went down to Cape May, so I showed a picture of me and Toby walking among the Victorian houses. A little familiarity, just something a little personal. Then I give my profit booster, which is my main article, and a couple other things. But that is a newsletter that goes out every single week like clockwork. Also, every single week like clockwork, going out the next day on Wednesday is my weekly episode of Newsletter Guru TV, what you're watching right now. And so the video, people get to see me and hear me. They hear my voice inflection. They hear how I mangle a word or two now and then, or how I, will do some bloopers, and occasionally I'll leave them in because they happen every week. But by me sharing some information and hopefully some words of wisdom from what I call my smart marketing and business building advice, it helps to build familiarity with me as a marketer and a business building coach. The next thing I do, and I started that this year, and we're almost into our 6th month, is every single week now I do a podcast, Stick Like Glue Radio, a 30-minute episode where I'm usually interviewing a special guest on a certain topic. And then what I do on Friday is I send an email to my list telling them what happened this whole week. So here's, this was in the newsletter, this is on my blog, this was on the episode of Newsletter Guru TV, here's what happened on Stick Like Glue Radio. And so every week I'm communicating with people on my list. Of course, on my paid membership, they're getting mail from me every single month, and I send them different things. But, you have to be, I guess the big nutshell lesson here is you have to be in regular and frequent contact with customers, clients, patients, and prospects, and that will build familiarity, and that builds trust. Another thing I think as far as being trustworthy is reliability and credibility. Well, how does that work, Jim? Well, first of all, I guess in the kind of the overview, the broadest sense, do you do what you're supposed to do? Do you do what you say you're going to do? Do you do what you say you're going to do when you're going to do it? In other words, if you're a brick and mortar store or an online store, or if you're a coach, whatever you are you living up to your word? And in most cases, are you going a little bit above and beyond what you say you're going to do? When you do that every single day, every single client interaction, day in, day out, one occasion to the next, that builds trust. Now, interestingly enough, and you may say that's unfair, but it takes a long time to build trust, but it takes a very short time, almost even one bad incident, to really crush everything that you've built. And that's why in my own business, I am such a stickler for, my mantra is quality high, no mistakes, and when a mistake is made, we own up to it, we fix it, and we make it right. Because, inevitably, when you're working with people, computers, everything else, there are going to be mistakes. But when you have built up that trust, when those mistakes happen, you'll get over them. Another way to build trust is with testimonials. So whether you're advertising in a magazine, on paper, in print, online, and websites and things like that, when you list testimonials from some of your past clients, those words, the words that your clients speak, while they may not be as eloquent as you would say, those words carry an even higher level of proof, if you will, that you'll do what you say you're going to do. So testimonials are real huge. So anyway, I just want to make a book recommendation on this episode, No BS Trust Marketing. The full title is The Ultimate Guide to Creating Trust in an Understandably Untrusting World. And that's really a good title because, it's just, you always hear me say, customer service in general stinks. And I think, there's so many stories of people not doing what they say they're going to do. So even if you are an incredibly trustworthy individual, you're kind of swimming upstream against the tide in some respects. Again, maybe not fair, but it's reality. So, work like the devil to communicate on a regular and frequent basis with your customers, clients, patients, prospects, and while you're doing that, you're building trust, but also there are different strategies, too much for me to cover today, about how to actually do certain strategies and techniques to actually instill trust even with brand new prospects. Because again, folks, people that trust you, they're going to buy from you more often, more frequently, and price will become much less of an objection. All right, that is this episode of Newsletter Guru TV. If you found some value in what I've just shared with you this week, and I think, let's see, my own scale, yes, I think there is some good value. 1 out of 10, I think this was an 8.5 or a 9 on the trustworthy scale of Jim's advice. So very much appreciated, folks, if you would share the like button or click the like button if you're watching this on Facebook, or click the share button whether you're watching this on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Newsletter Guru TV, and share it with people that you might care about. Help spread the message of Newsletter Guru TV. Before the day's out, look for ways that you can add more value to what it is that you're doing for your customers. When you keep adding value, wrap it up with world-class service, your customers are going to stay longer. When they stay longer, they're going to spend more and refer more. That's a good thing, and that shows, in fact, that you have built incredible trust. So that's good. And go out there and do something nice for somebody. Just, hold the door, let them get in line ahead of you, wave them into traffic, just make their day. It's going to make you feel good too, by the way. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out Stick Like Glue Radio. You can subscribe at iTunes, or you can download it and listen to the replay at getjimpalmer.com. We're doing some amazing interviews, 30-minute little segments of good marketing and business building advice. So check out Stick Like Glue Radio. Think that covers it? Yes, that does cover it. Okay. I am Jim Palmer. I'm your host of Newsletter Guru TV and the host of Stick Like Glue Radio, and I'm committed to helping you build a more profitable business faster. And I'll see you next week right here on Newsletter Guru TV. You take care.